Hello YouTubers, Pancake, Blackpowder 2nd edition. Now I've jotted some side of me, some changes down in here, what I've noticed. Not an awful lot of changes, subtle changes. I think the layout of the book is a lot better. Things seem to be more fluid and seem to be where they should be, as opposed to where they should be but they're not. I think the way they've explained things in it is a lot better. There is some errors in here. One of the errors has already been picked up on the forums on page 49 to do with modifiers. So seasoned Blackpowder players, when they read that on page 49, will notice that straight away. But if you're not a seasoned Blackpowder player, then you probably will get a little confused by it. But anyhow, all in all, it's a really nice book. Nice hardback, nice and thick. Sorry about that. The light from the lights above is causing me havoc. Did get the free figure, Master and Commander. Back of the book. I'm going to go straight to the back of the book. I know it's a bit bizarre, but I've got to show you this. Oh look, it's an index. It's not a massive index, but nonetheless, it's an index, which is jolly good. And the quick reference sheet is just inside, which is 2 pages. So, all in all, that's pretty handy. I'm going to talk through the changes as we look through the book, but then they won't be in specific order to what page I'm on in the book. So, I'll just take you a quick look through the book. As can be expected, it is full of quality pictures. A lot more now of Warlord Games selection of figures, because obviously been around a while now, Blackpowder, and the ranges have grown quite extensively. Usual contents. I think there's 10 scenarios in here from different periods, and each one gives you different forces and sides, breakdowns of who was involved. Portuguese. Yeah, it's laid out. As you can see, it's laid out in a different manner, but in a different manner that's more appealing and more easy to digest. The pictures and the painted figures are just fantastic. Right, first change is command. Changes to command units. They're restricted from being disordered and disorderly retreats. Remove one, make a full move, disorderly moved to the rear, away from the closest enemy. But then they must remain disordered for a further turn. Formations are still in here. I think these 3 pictures are the same from the original book. Big change to Army Generals, as they can no longer. I hate that. I hate how they. Sorry about this. I hate how they do a square. See, I do a square where there's a hollow in the middle, so it's a 1 stand, 2 and 2. It's looked. I don't know. It just looks better. That just looks like a jumbled mess to me. Anyway, yeah, the general no longer general in no longer issues orders. But what he can do is get within 12 of a brigade commander. So when he's in 12 of a brigade commander, he's on command. When he's in, let's say 12 of a brigade commander, he can then give a reroll. So the brigade commander wants a battalion and must get this battalion to move forward. He rolls to that, it doesn't move as far as he wanted it. Now he can then issue a reroll from the general that's in the 12. Now that order then, whether it's 1, 2 or 3, must be carried out. You've got to take, if it's a worse roll, then you've got to take that one. But I kind of like that, but I kind of don't, if you know what I mean. We shall see when we've had our first couple of games how I get on with that. Skirmishes, there's been quite a bit of changes to Skirmishes. Still have free moves and that. The pictures in here are great. That's a nice picture. Right, skirmishes. What are we on to a minute here? I'm on about artillery and stuff. So I'll just leave you on this picture while I talk about skirmishes. Alright, skirmishes. Let me look at my notes. Skirmishes are right with artillery. Skirmishes are within 12. Then obviously artillery have to target them. If it's more than 12 away, then the artillery can ignore them. Basically, if they're the closest unit, yeah, you have to target them. But if it's the closest unit but still 12 away, more than 12 away, then the artillery can ignore them. As for enfilading fire, we're not about cannons because they get a decent amount. It's no longer double dice. You re-roll your misses now. Big change on evading as well. Now there was a section on terrain. We'll talk about evading in a minute. That's a nice picture. Man, they're all nice pictures. Still got your shooting. I mean, I think this is the kind of the same idea they've got from Blackpowder 1, but the way it's worded to me seems to come across more clearer to me as I'm reading it as it did before. Now whether that's just me because I'm used to the rules and that, I don't know, but it does to me. It seems a lot better. Ah, this is it, page 49. Now they've got in morale saves here contradicts what your hit modifiers are on here. So just be careful when you're reading on page 49, because it then says as above in the to hit modifiers chart. Well, that doesn't tally up to that, so you'll understand that when you read it. Yeah, evading is now an order. So your skirmishers, we've got some changes on rockets as well, and we'll come to that. So here we are, the 95th skirmishers. So your skirmishers, right? Well, I'm going to charge you skirmishers. Basically, you evade. So they always get away. Sean Bean's in there, kicking the ass. Go on, shift it, they evade. Well, now you say, right, I'm going to evade. So they're given an order to evade, but they always evade a full move. Now you're going to want him to evade further. So basically, cavalry are going to catch them. So if the cavalry are a fair distance off, and they need a good roll. But if they're quite close, your skirmishers are going to get run down. Now, if they make contact, because obviously you roll for your cavalry, if the contact is made, the skirmishers are destroyed. But also, you know what I mean, you can make a blunder as well on that. So skirmishers are a lot more. Let's put it. Glass hammers, so to speak. If you know what I mean. They're very useful, but now you've got to be careful where cavalry is concerned, because they will get mown down quite easily, I think, if the cavalry have got a good short distance. Hand-to-hand combat. The changes hand-to-hand combat is what I did, and a lot of people did anyway. It's just one unit on one unit. I know before, if you got frontage and you could get 2 units in, people were getting 2 units in, and people were playing that. But no, not anymore. And the rules are as of states that it's one on unit on one, and then you get your bonuses from supports. Obviously, if it's a square, and then you've got the 4 sides. If it's a building, then you've got your 4 sides. But if it's a unit, then no, it's one on one. It's all about positioning your charges in this page. Telling you uncertain quarters. See, there's a lot more of these. They'll really help you out. More on skirmishes. Yeah, the rules for rockets, they do a hit on a 6 and disorder on a 6, but also then if you don't roll a 6, you roll on the mishap chart, and the mishap chart is mega. They go absolutely anywhere, so I think you're going to be hitting your own troops more than you're actually going to be hitting enemy troops. I mean, pictures in here just go on and on and on. Now, I have been thinking about doing Sudan, and when I picked this up, I nearly went and bought Blood on the Nile again. Twice I've nearly bought it. I think I'm going to do a small, not a massive table. I think I'm going to do a 6x4 and pick some Sudan up, some Sudan stuff up. And if I do like it, then I'll expand it. But we'll see how we go. Because I'm toying over that. And it's really nice, isn't it? That's French in Egypt. Break test, chicken units. And the book overall is absolutely stunning book. Just makes you want to go and play a game and roll some dice. And there's a few changes in the rule section. They've got now a thing you can give your troops, like some like Russians, I would imagine, poor shooters, so any Russian players, which they re-roll one hit. So re-roll one hit dice. And the variants. So yeah, all in all, it's you've got your advanced rules. It's a little changes, but changes that were needed. But the layout and wording and other little things in here that you'll notice when you pick it up, you really enjoy. Like here's the buildings. This is a better section from shooting and attacking buildings. This is laid out and better worded, should I say? Sorry, I'm looking at the picture. I'm not even moving my camera half the time. So I'm trying to just give you a quick look through the book. I quite enjoyed reading this one as well. Battle of Dead Man's Creek. It's quite interesting because the units are really small. Where you're used to Blackpowder being hundreds of figures. This one's really small. When you're reading up in the unit sizes, like a troop and that, it's like 8 figures. Like A troop, B troop, C troop. It's only like 8 figures. It's like, what? It's like really weird. Like these war parties and that, they're really small. So when you're used to playing with hundreds and hundreds of figures for Blackpowder game, it's quite funny. And the back of the book, these are all your scenarios. I did like this. I'll show you this. Battle at North Point. I'm not doing this very well because I'm doing it in a bit of a rush really, because I've got things to do. Alright, quarter bra. To me that's the Perry's table. And then it gives you pictures and it will run through the battle. It is a battle report, but it isn't, if you know what I mean. There's no extensive write-up. It just tells you, goes through from the turns. Like this, what is it, look, the British heavy cavalry arrive on the flank, the French heavies, the Scots greys, the heavies clash. The French heavy cavalry are pushed back. Hussar. And your Dutch, which I need some more Dutch. But as you can see, really nice. But all in all, yeah, cracking book. Subtle changes, small changes, but changes that were needed. I would think that most players will be happy with the changes. I'm going to give it another couple of days reading, flicking through, see if I can pick up any other things that I might have missed. But if anybody enjoys Blackpowder like me, then you won't be disappointed with this book. It's well worth a buy. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now. Bye.